Good morning, friends. Happy Friday, February 10th. Crystal here with an extra special bonus Friday reading. Please remember the first card is always for you. The second card is always for someone else. That someone else might be a stranger, a friend, a loved one. And the third card is always something to remember or watch for. All right, so you might be wondering, why are we having a extra special Friday reading? Well, so you may have noticed that this week's readings seemed a little abnormal. They weren't my normal bubbly self. Well, due to weather circumstances down here in Texas last week, I pre-recorded this week's readings, and I received some feedback on that, and I agree with the feedback that I received. It just wasn't me. Recording in advance just isn't natural for me, because you just don't get the energy of the day in the morning's reading. Okay. So we're doing an extra special bonus reading because all of the things in my house that were keeping me from being able to do a reading in the morning have alleviated themselves. And so I have the ability to do one. So let's do it. Okay. So the card for you today is a familiar one. It is Pond. There we go. Okay. So Pond is all about that change. To me, it's about that evolutionary growth. Biologists, scientists. And so for me, it's always about that. I loved Big Bang and how, and the idea of how life became on Earth. I know plenty of people believe in God and the Bible and the creation story there. I completely understand. I believe in more of this evolutionary idea of how things evolved and changed over time. And so that's what Pond says. So it's that slow evolutionary change that's really kind of muddy. It's not clear. A pond is really the water doesn't flow, so the water gets, Some people don't like ponds. They make them very uncomfortable because of that, because the water doesn't flow and it gets kind of, so anyway, so that's one part of Pond. To me, I think this is all, since it's a card for you, it's all about that change, whatever change, ugly yuckiness that's going on, like it's evolutionary. So when you come out the other side, give yourself some grace as you're going through it, because when you come out the other side, you could be completely different. Okay. All right. The other side of that, though, is Pond is about perspective. So do you see Pond as a beautiful place where you can go fishing and relax? Or do you see Pond as that yucky, gross, scary place that you don't want to be anywhere near? It's all about that perspective. So if it's not evolutionary growth and change that's impacting your life today, maybe it's just perspective. Do I need that? Do I need to keep in mind and keep that glass half full perspective? I'm really a fan of the people who say, who cares if the glass is half full or half empty? Just fill the dang thing. I love it. That's kind of my idea too. All right. The card for someone else today. And please remember that someone else can always be you. You can be someone else's someone else. Today, that card is y'all. And y'all is just saying, do you know who your team is? Okay. So the way it's written up is, behind every good man is a strong woman. I agree. And behind every strong woman is a team of other women. I also agree. And so that's what y'all is about. Do you have your team of stronger women? Or if you're a man, do you got that woman standing behind you who also has a team of stronger women? Like, who is that? Who is your y'all? Okay? Because we all need a y'all. And it also means they're supposed to be reaching out to that person, making connections and contacting them, checking on them, making sure they're okay. It's not a bad thing. It's just making sure you got your team. All right. Last but never least is the card to remember or watch for. And today that card is Soar. And Soar is telling us that we have all of our ducks in a row. Can you believe it? Our ducks are in a frickin' row. What that means is we are ready. We are ready to take that first step. Now, you might be saying, Crystal, you're full of crap. My ducks are not in a row. Well, let me ask you a question, friend. If you have children, were you ready to have them when you had them? Like, did you plan? Or was it an accident? Or was it let's just do it. Time's a ticking. The thing is we're really never all the way ready for whatever it is that we think we need to get ready for. I've often been accused in my life of ready, fire. I don't aim. And the thing is I do aim, but people don't notice it because I start aiming way before people are ready. And so I've been doing all this aiming and I get like aim fatigue and I just like pull the trigger. Well, you know how if you're not steady when you pull the trigger, that it's going to fly off and it's going to shoot off at a weird angle? Yeah, that's what happens with me a lot. Okay, but what Soar is saying is that's what you're supposed to do right now. Don't spend too much time aiming, because there is such a thing as too much time aiming. Okay, so it's ready, aim, fire. It's not ready, aim, like it doesn't have it spread out in certain lengths so that one is longer than the other. It's very much, you want to, like, if you're out on a battleground, you're ready, aim, fire like that, right? So we have to be practicing and really honing in and being true to ourselves so that once our ducks are in close enough to a row, like, oh, they're starting to gather, maybe we can do it. Sometimes you just got to do it, because sometimes you don't know really what it is you're supposed to do until you start doing it. Like you think you know. And so you're like, okay, I'm going to plan to this. But what you got to understand is sometimes you got to be able to pivot. And that's Soar really is, I think, about pivoting. Okay, so make sure like those ducks are in a row and you're ready to go, but just make sure you're ready to pivot, because Soar is a hot air balloon, my friend. It's not a car driving on the road. It's relying upon the air and how the air flows. And you all have listened to me enough, and air, you see how it is. Sometimes it's crazy, like the wind is crazy, and sometimes it's very calm. Okay, so that's what Soar's like too. So we get our ducks in a row, and sometimes this wind's going to be really strong and carry us far. And other times we might feel like we're sitting still. It's okay. Because guess what? Our ducks in a row and it's time. Yay! All right. So that is your extra special bonus Friday reading. I hope you have a blessed day. And I don't know if I'm going to do a Saturday reading or not. I think we might take weekends off again, because I think that was also part of the issue. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll go upon whatever the feeling calls. All right. Have a beautiful day, friends. Go out there with kindness. Do nice things for other people, because, again, we don't know what others are going through. Love you. See you soon.